Oh, really? Right. Joining us today is Des Tong, the fantastic bassist from Sad Cafe, to discuss their long-awaited UK tour as well as the past and future of his music career. So Des joined Sad Cafe in 1980 and worked with the band on the album Ole and all subsequent recordings. Hello!
Hello, good morning.
So this tour is by very much popular demand, and it'll see you play in Chester at Alexander's Live and the Civic Theatre in, and I hope I get this correct the first time, Oswald Twistle on the
Yeah, that's right.
on the 9th and 17th of February respectively, and not least, of course, Buxton Festival on the 14th of July.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. That sounds a really good one.
Yeah, I've been to it before. It's absolutely fantastic. But yes, whilst Every Day Hurts and My Oh My might be obvious crowd pleasers, what is your very favourite song to play on tour?
Oh, now then. See, that's a tricky one because the beauty of Sad Cafe is they've got such great songs. And talking to fans, you get so many different people telling you that their favourite is, they're all different. We've got a great new version of a track called Emptiness, which is going down really, really well. But On With The Show is a classic. Yeah, there's so many. Black Rose, is a really great song. What else brings to mind? If you want to get really heavy rock, Keeping It From The Troops, that gets a few people out of the seats.
Yes.
So yeah, there are so many different ones, and the beauty of Sad Cafe is that they're all different.
Oh, absolutely.
The influences of the band came from all different directions. There was prog rock in the beginning, and there was a bit of blues and a bit of soul. So the variation of styles is amazing.
Well, that's it. I mean, Sad Cafe has always been a band absolutely impossible to pigeonhole into a specific genre. Is there a genre which you personally enjoy most and would love to explore more with the band in the future?
Well, I think unavoidably you're going to be put into that sort of AOR, adult-orientated rock slot, because that's the sort of crowd that we appeal to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There are that many different various groups of music now. It's interesting that we do get younger people coming along because they're fascinated by what's happening. So who knows? Who knows? But I mean, we are in the process of getting some new songs together.
Oh, great!
To record, and there are two world famous songwriters who, having heard that we are back together, have contacted us and have sent in the process of sending us songs.
Absolutely,
so it's
fantastic.
very exciting. It's very exciting.
Massively. Oh, well, that obviously brings me to so you're hopefully releasing some new songs. That's absolutely amazing, and I'm sure people will be really pleased to hear that. Do you find?
I mean, I can't reveal too much.
Sure.
But, one of the songwriters is very closely linked with the band, and is from another very famous band from Manchester. So I'll give you the clues there.
Oh gosh, I wonder if some of our listeners might know. Write in if you know.
All will be revealed soon.
Yes. Anyway. Oh, I'm very excited. Do you find that you say the Manchester artists? Do you find that having the group been formed in Manchester, that's always your most exceptional audience?
Well, yes, in a way, but we're finding that we get pockets of fans down south, for instance, it can be really strange. You turn up at a place that we've not done before, and suddenly there's a load of people coming up to you saying, "Oh, I've followed the band since 1980, and it's great to see you back." And you just think to yourself, "Wow, it is all over the country."
Yeah.
So not really one area in particular, but we are working on getting back to Manchester. We've been talking about doing a gig, and but the band on the wall has popped up, because
Yes,
the band actually have got associations with the band on the wall going right back to the beginning. So that's one of the venues that we're looking at maybe playing.
Oh, terrific. Well, I was going to add, it's not just Sad Cafe you're known for in some circles. You compose music along with creating special effects for video games, don't you?
Yes, yeah. Well, that was like 1998. A very, very old friend of mine, a musician friend of mine, had actually got a computer games company based down in Birmingham, and he was looking for somebody to come in as head of music, and called me up, and never want to resist the challenge. I thought to myself, yeah, why not? So I moved down to Banbury, where the company was based,
Mm-hmm.
and had my own studio, and worked on. It was like the computer games industry had changed. They'd actually suddenly started using CDs to load the games in, which meant that they could put real music
Yes.
in the games, whereas before it was all chip based.
Yeah, very.
So suddenly I was able to use real musicians in game music, and it freaked the sort of computer industry out, really.
Well, it's very, very different world now, and probably a lot easier to do some of the things that people were striving to do in the 80s and 90s. I mean, it's not often on Tony's Time Machine that we talk about game music, so I'll take this opportunity to just quickly ask, obviously not wanting to belabor too much the point, wanting to talk about the tour, but with Johnny Bazooka Tone, I get the impression you could have a play around with things more than the Incredible Hunk or Roll Cage. So with these latter two, I just wanted to ask, because they weren't so musically themed, where did you draw your inspiration for composing the soundtrack for them?
Oh yeah, wow. Well, I love film music.
Okay.
And the Danny Elfman is
yes.
an amazing composer, and so I took a lot of inspiration from the crazy things that he would do, especially with the Hulk.
Yeah.
Roll Cage. They wanted like dance. They wanted full on dance music. So that sort of was just really listening to what was around.
I suppose that was to get the car, kind of simulate you being in a bit of a sports car sort of that kind of track. Yeah, I get that.
I mean, Johnny Bazooka Tone. I had real musicians. So, as I said before, Snake Davis, the sax player who played on M People and things like that, he came down and did some work on it. And Michael Byron Hare. Now, Mike was in Sad Cafe with me. He now plays with Barclay James Harvest, and he came down and played guitar on it. So it was fantastic fun to be able to do that. Fantastic.
I wanted to ask, in my research into you, I found out that your favourite bass guitar to play is the Music Man Stingray. I just wanted to ask, how soon into your music career did you come across it?
Well, actually, there's a story connected with that.
Oh, we love a story.
Another story, yes. Well, Graham Gouldman from 10cc. Now, remember that name because that could link to something I said earlier, but I'm not giving any clues away, right? Graham Gouldman, who I knew, I met him at Strawberry Studios, and he said to me, I've got this bass that I've just been given, and it'll suit you down to the ground. You will love it. He said, I don't particularly get on with it, But he said,
Okay.
come round to my house tomorrow, take it away, use it in sessions, use it on gigs. You will want one. I guarantee you will want one. And it was a Stingray bass. So I did. I took it away and fell in love with it. I mean, the sound was just amazing. And at the time, punk was very, very prominent. So all the people that were buying basses were looking for Rickenbackers or Fender Jazzes, very clangy sort of bass. Whereas the Stingray was very gritty and very funky. So I could, but Graham wouldn't let me have his. He said he had to give it back. Okay. But I had a friend who was sales director for a music company and travelled the country, and I said to him, "Get me one, find me one."
Okay.
And he did. He found me one in a little music shop in Leeds, and that was in 1980. And I've still got it, and it still sounds fantastic.
Oh, great. Oh, fantastic. I mean, you were previously, I mean, this is a long time ago, you were previously interested in the drums before you took up the bass guitar.
Yeah, well, I think every kid wants to play the drums. I mean,
completely.
You just want to bang things. But my dad was a pianist, and he played in little trios, and he said, no, you don't want to do drums. You want to learn the bass.
Oh,
and
right.
And he bought me an old bass. And so at the age of 12, I was playing in trios with him.
Fantastic. I mean, if learning, obviously I could never, for some reason, I struggle with driving and I struggle with playing the drums, and I think the reason's the same. I struggle to like move things independently with skill. Do you know? It's a strange one. I've just never been able to master it at all. But in terms of like learning a musical instrument, that's where I kind of gave up a little bit. But if learning a musical instrument hadn't been an option for you for whatever reason, do you still think you'd have found your way into the music industry, or is there like another career that might have tickled your fancy?
Oh, now then, good questions. No, I think it had to be music. Purely from the fact that my dad was so musical, that it was just a logical progression. And just, you know, I just had to do it. Strangely, like going back about 5 or 6 years, I did something really weird, because I got involved in local television in Birmingham, and as a producer. Now I'd progressed from from recording into production, but this channel was only a small channel based in Birmingham, and very, very soon we all found that we all had to mix in together. So I joined as a producer. The next minute I'm editing, and then one day one of the main guys there, who was going to do a program called Life Stories, where he was talking to various people, and I'd arranged for him to meet this very well-known guy from Birmingham who organises the Jazz Festival and has got great stories. And when he was on his way, this guy said to me, I can't do this interview because I don't know him, but you do. So you do the interview. So suddenly, I had to run down the road and buy a shirt, because I only had a t-shirt on, and a razor because I hadn't had a shave. And so I did this interview, which turned out not as an interview. It was a chat. It was a conversation, because we both knew each other. Yeah. And when I'd finished it, everybody came up and said, "That was amazing. Do another one." So. So it turned out that I ended up doing about 25 in the series. My next one was a guy called Brian Travers, who was the sax player with UB40, who is the most, sadly he's no longer with us, but he's the most amazing interviewee you could ever have, because he never shuts up. Oh, fantastic. Just let me write that down. His catchphrase was "no dead air." And he was just amazing. But I went on to, as I say, suddenly I'm a presenter. Wow. Now that never, ever entered into my to-do list. You know, that certainly wasn't. I never sat and watched the television and thought I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
But suddenly I found myself really enjoying it.
Is
And
this?
to date, they're on YouTube. If you go on to Des Tong TV,
I was just going to say, I've had a little look. It's the Life Stories series, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so far it's had 500,000 views.
Yeah, I must admit, I've watched it. I've watched the one with Tony Christie and Jasper Carrot.
Yeah.
And I think our listeners at Tony's Time Machine, I think they'd absolutely love it. So I was gonna give it a bit of a promotion, because I think it was absolutely fantastic. Again, like as you say, it's just a chat. It's so nice to see two people just so relaxed, and yeah, it's lovely.
Well, the beauty of it was that pretty much all of the people that I talked to, I had a connection with.
Sure.
So, you know, there's a wonderful guy called Clem Catini, who's a drummer, and Clem played on 31 number one records during the 60s and 70s. And he's just such a wonderful character, very humble, but he's got some great stories. And it turned out that I'd actually played a gig with him in London many years ago, and he remembered it. And so we automatically had that connection that, you know, we could talk about things. And that's how I did it. I chose people that I knew and who we respected each other. And so it wasn't an interview. It was a chat.
Fantastic. Oh, that's the thing is that's what you want. You want that sort of realism. And I mean, it's almost like it kind of like, I felt like he was in the room with you. Like it was good. Yeah. It just felt like good company, which is exactly what you want. I wanted to ask, very shortly after you joined the band Sad Cafe, I've read that 1981 to 1985 are colloquially known as the road band years. So I wondered, we love a story here at Tony's Time Machine. We love an anecdote. Do you have maybe a favourite humorous touring anecdote from that time? One that you can share. One that you can share.
Okay. Well, so we did a lot on tour buses, which you know, when there's like 8 people very close together,
sure.
You can sometimes go a bit stir crazy, but a certain member of the band had a habit of late at night, when everybody had gone to bed, he'd raid the fridge.
Oh.
And so we'd all previously stocked up at, you know, some place to stock up with, because we had a microwave, so we'd stock up with pies and pizzas and what have you. And then you get up the next day and the fridge was empty. And a certain person was lying in his bunk snoring. And this happened on a few occasions. So Lenny, the sax player, he got really annoyed. So he went out and he bought a load of salad stuff and made this amazing salad in a bowl.
Yeah.
And put cling film on the top of it.
Uh-huh.
And put "Do not eat Lenny's salad." But what he didn't tell anybody was that he'd also bought a couple of bottles of really, really hot chili sauce.
Oh my gosh.
And done a dressing on it. So the next morning, we go down, and needless to say, the salad's gone. And this particular person comes in and saying, what was in that salad last night?
Brazen. Oh, the nerve.
And Lenny went, you mean the one that said my salad on it? And he went, yeah, but you know, I mean, I feel really bad. we were all just, I think somebody picked a guitar up and started playing Ring of Fire.
Excellent. And just desserts, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's always
do it
one.
Again. I wonder why.
No, that's it. There's always one. I think in any place of work, I used to work in an office, and there's always one where we never caught out who it was, but yeah, definitely a fridge raider in our midst. Yeah, I should have done that. That's a really good idea. Yes, I should have thought about that. To put hot sauce on on my salads. But I wanted to well, I was going to ask about the future. Take me to the future, so to speak, of Sad Cafe.
Yes.
I was going to ask how what's next and how does it all fit in with your own plans for your future in the music industry. But I think you've pretty much said, there's some things coming, and then we'll just have to wait and see them on tenterhooks. So I'll round off the interview by just asking you a question that actually a friend of mine who's a huge fan of yours wanted me to ask. Now, Sad Cafe is known for being one of the best live bands of the 80s. And if anybody wants to check out a clip on YouTube, I know you've uploaded some yourself, Des. You'll see why. What's your secret, do you think, to that?
Ooh, I think it's enjoyment.
Sure.
I think the band at the minute that I've put together, because obviously, time catches up with us. We've lost various members, sadly passed away.
Yeah.
And also a couple of guys have got health problems, and they've just had to reluctantly admit that, they can't do the traveling, they can't do the gigs.
Yeah.
So I took that decision to continue, because I knew that the fans they want to hear the music. They're not going to be, okay, there's a few of them will go, you can't do it because Paul's not there, because Victor's not there. But the majority of fans want to hear the song.
Sure, yeah.
And so I've very carefully put together a band of musicians who are brilliant. They're all experts on their own instruments. But together, there's a camaraderie suddenly that we smile, we laugh. Last night, when we were in Milton Keynes, and there was a bit of a cock up at the beginning of the set, and the keyboard player leaned over to the guitar player in a very loud stage whisper, and told him he was in the wrong key, and we all burst out laughing. Now, normally that would be like, oh my God, what are we going to do? But it was just, there were smiles all round. It seamlessly changed key, and we carried on. And I think that is the secret, the fact that it's all for one and one for all.
Yeah, if you're having fun, they're having fun.
Absolutely, and I think that really does spill out into the audience, that we're all smiling, we're all laughing. So they're, we're enjoying it. So come along with us for the ride.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh well, absolutely. I think that's absolutely key to it. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this interview. I really, really appreciate it. The listeners of Tony's Time Machine will be absolutely. I'm so excited to hear from you. And if you're ever in Manchester, again, please drop on by. And we'd love to see you. But thank you so much, and hopefully see you in Chester. So that's
okay.
That'll be on the 9th of February, and then the concert in the Civic Theatre in Oswald Twistle. Oh, I should get an award for that. On the 17th of February, and then of course you're at Buxton Festival on the 14th of July. So lots to look forward to. Thank you so much again.
My pleasure.
All right.
Absolute pleasure.
Cheerio, Des. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.